evening, friends and neighbors. Or shall I say this afternoon?
Welcome back to the Broncos franchise on Madden 22. I'm your host, longtime listener. Be sure to drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment below. Let's see. We are going to be taking on the Chiefs here in a game that we're going to simulate, and it's so far of this season our biggest game, hands down. Both teams coming in with just one loss, looking to try and get the edge in the AFC race. And before we get into that, we've got some players that we've got to try and renegotiate with. Now, Mitch Wilkins is only 26. We drafted him in like the 6th or 7th round a while back, and he's turned into a pretty decent backup center. I'm going to make a 3-year offer for him just to kind of shore up that position so that we don't have to think about it for a while. We're going to go 3 years worth 6.15 mil. That actually might be a little bit light. Let's go here. I'll bet you he'll take this. And that's, oh man, he wants more salary. Come on with this. Botker at 29 years old, 73 overall. It's probably time to move on from him as our backup left guard. So he gone. And we should pretty much just need to set our strategy and go through, the training or whatever, see if we get any player upgrades, and we're ready for this game. Definitely going to defend the deep pass. We are definitely going to be going blitz counter for the offensive approach. Now here in this one, I'm actually going to set these to ones that I think are ideal for us. Mainly thinking that if what you do here has any impact on what actually happens when you simulate it, I want those goals to kind of be ingrained in our team's philosophy this week during training or whatever. I don't really think it matters, but just in case. All right. So, any upgrades? Nope. So we are ready to go ahead and sim here. Now remember, we're playing these guys without 2 of our best D linemen, so this kind of sucks. But it's our policy that if we win a game that we play, we sim 3 games or until we lose, whichever comes first. And we lost by freaking 3 points. And now we get Jones and Johnston back, so we're healthy again, but now we're a game back in the AFC race. Let's look at the stats and see what all transpired in this game. We only lost by 3. But remember that this one was at home. And now, if I win the next game that we play, hypothetically, I should be, likely simming the game against the Chiefs when it gets there. But if that game could determine the AFC champion, we are going to play it. All right, so offensively, we ran the ball well. We threw it okay. We didn't turn it over, but their offense was clicking pretty much on, both passing and rushing. Mahomes was really sharp. He did throw an interception, and we sacked him once, but we got sacked 5 times, and that probably was the difference in the ball game. Javonte Williams, a big day. 2 touchdowns, 116 yards on just 13 carries. Zach Moss was okay. Marquez Boyd didn't do much. Stevenson barely involved at all. Big day for Noah Fant. Travis Kelce still playing well. Shelby, 6 catches, 72 yards, 3 touchdowns. This guy, I think, got Receiver of the Year a few years ago. And I think it's basically because whatever they're doing with him, he's just racking up touchdowns, and that influences the voting there. Cephas was all right. Jerry Jeudy was okay, but limited, frankly. 4 catches, 51 yards. Marshall was all right. Mecole Hardman, kind of limited. Cortland Sutton, he really hasn't done much for us this year, but we kind of knew that he was going to start reaching that point where we weren't going to be using him as much. Surtain, Willis, Webster at the top of the tackles column. All right, who had all the sacks here? Was it Jones? Jason Skinner? James Webster had one. Matthew had one. Kaminsky and Shelby Harris still playing and came up with a sack. He's a former Bronco. The interception was Patrick Surtain. He's having a really good season. Sly 1 for 1 and 4 extra points. Price missed a field goal and was 4 for 4. So the two games that we lost by 3 points each and had field goal opportunities that we did not convert in each. So, I'm not saying we're blaming the kicker, but it's just noteworthy. Alright, now, basically, we just need to get ready and play Week 14 against the Raiders. Dang it, that one really stings. Would have liked to have won that one and had the edge on the Chiefs instead of having to come from behind to win that race. Alright, so he likes the bonus and the duration, just not the salary. So we're actually going to lower the bonus and we'll improve the salary a little bit, and I'll bet you he'll take this. Boom. Alright. So we're good at center for a little while, and I guess that's it for now. For negotiations, at least. Let's set the old strategy for this week. We got to make sure our depth chart is good to go with some guys coming back. Alright, against the Raiders, they're kind of balanced. I am not worried about stopping the run. Our team has been really good at stopping the run, so let's focus on making sure they don't throw the ball really well against us, or if they try, maybe we get some interceptions. With our D-line being healthy again, I imagine we can come away with some sacks. Wait, I don't need to worry about this stuff. It doesn't matter anymore. So, trying to think if there's anything else that we should be covering before we jump into this game, other than the depth chart. Player upgrades. We got any? We do. Come on, have some good ones. Ooh, Jerry Jeudy. Heck yeah. He's turning into a beast. James Webster. Also turning into a beast. We're going to keep going with the power rusher for him, because his run stopping will come with it. Luke Burke gets another one, and he's now up to an 81 overall. Y'all, I think I should strongly consider just putting him in as the starter at strong safety. Javian Hawkins gets one. That's good. Helps us down the depth chart. Sergio Francois. So we did get a bunch of good upgrades here. Francois, I think we're going to go... You know what? He's already decent on the physical end, but he's a really bad route runner. Let's start working on that and see if that helps him on his overall as well. He got a catching boost there, which is good. Surtain. Let's go... zone, I guess. Just keep trying to get him as balanced as possible. Alright. Now what? Depth chart. Alright, so Draymond Jones and Spencer Johnston are coming back. So basically, we need to look at... I don't think it matters if I do this all at once. Okay, so there's Jones. Obviously, that's what we want. Then Webster. Then up the middle, it'll be Johnston and Harold. Then we're going to go ahead and make this change. No, Willis still has the edge on him with the overall at strong safety. So we're going to leave that the way it is. It's been working fine this year anyway, and Willis has been playing pretty well. So, all right, so Khalil Mack there, Chubb here, and then up the middle is going to be Jones and Webster. Yeah. So not having Johnston is really not that big of a deal, but Draymond Jones is a freaking playmaker. And him not being in the lineup really does hurt us. Stearns, is he really the best option here? I guess so. Whatever. All right, that's it. So we are ready now for week, what is it, 15? Week 14 at home against the Raiders at Mile High Stadium. We got a 10-2 record against their 5-7, and trailing the Chiefs by one game now with, let's see, 14, 15, 16, 5 games to go. We have got to, I would imagine we can't lose more than one game to have any chance. So I think 14-3 is our worst possible record that still gets us the AFC regular season crown. So every game is important. Starting with this one, let's get her done. And here we are in Denver, Colorado. It's a home game against the division rival Raiders, who are coming into this one sub 500 on the year as their playoff hopes are quickly fading. But if they can pick up a win against the 10-2 Broncos here, it'd be a huge lift for them. They're going to kick off to start things off. It's kicking into the wind. Bryant Fields from the 5 brings it out to the 28, and that's where Denver will start. Now we'll get a look at the numbers for Brett Morris so far this season, as he is having a sensational year. 2,774 yards, 32 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions, and in the mix for the playoff or for the regular season MVP. They're going to start things off on the ground as it's Javonte Williams up the middle, a gain of 10 and a first down, but now 3rd and 8 on the ensuing set of downs. Morris can't find anybody downfield. Tried to think about scrambling there, but Ngakoue gobbles him up for a loss of 11, and the Broncos are going to have to punt. It's going to be Vereen back to field this one from the 17, makes a couple men miss and brings it out to the 28, and that's where the Raiders are going to start 1st and 10. And we're going to look at the numbers for Tavares Favors, who's having a pretty sharp year for the Vegas squad. He's over 3,000 yards, 32 touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions for the youngsters. He has played well, but their record is not really reflective of how well he has played. 2nd and 8 on that first drive of the game. It's Henry Ruggs down the sideline, good for 32 yards. Beautiful throw there, and they're into field goal range already. Now it's going to be Josh Jacobs to the outside on 2nd down and 3. That's a gain of 12 and gets him inside the 10, setting up 1st and goal. Now 3rd and goal. Favors looking to throw, pretty good protection there, and then he is going to find his man in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown, and the Raiders are going to have the lead early in this one. So now up 7-0, it's the Broncos on the ensuing drive. Javonte Williams makes a man miss the tackle there and has a gain of 12, good for a first down out to the 45-yard line. Now 2nd and 1 later in the drive. It's going to be Morris going play action, and now he's going deep down the field to Jerry Jeudy. Takes a big hit from Jonathan Abram, but hangs on to it, and that's going to set it up 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Now 3rd and 5 from the 6. They go outside on the little swing pass to Trey Stevenson, but he is going to be tackled right there by Trayvon Mullen, and it would set up a 4th down. The Raiders force them to settle for the field goal, which is good, and it's now 7-3 with Denver on the board, trailing by 4. 3rd and 6 on the ensuing drive. Nice throw there, complete to Henry Ruggs. That gets him across midfield to the 46-yard line late in the first quarter. And Vegas into Denver territory. Now 1st and 10. Favors can't find anybody open, and James Webster eventually gets loose for the sack. A loss of 11 on the play. And the Raiders would end up having to try for a 56-yard field goal, which is good. Excellent kick there. And the Raiders extend that lead, making it 10-3. First play of the ensuing drive, they swing it outside to Trey Stevenson. That's the play that the Raiders stopped last time, but this time it's good for a big pickup. Actually goes down as a run on the play. Now 1st and 10 from the 39. It's Albert O on a little drag route there. He's got it down to the 24, and another first down for Denver. Now 2nd and 10 from the 10. Morris looking to throw, has Jerry Jeudy in the end zone for the touchdown, and the Broncos are going to tie this thing at 10 now partway through the second quarter. On the ensuing drive, it's going to be 3rd down and 4. Favors unable to find anyone there. Throws it late. He was hit as he released, and that pass incomplete, and the Raiders are going to have to punt. Punting from their 45, Bryant's going to let this one bounce around the 5-yard line. It takes a friendly Raiders bounce, and it's going to be down at the 4-yard line. 3.5 minutes to go. Denver's got the ball now deep in their own territory, so we'll see how conservative they are. 2nd and 6 from the 21, and they are going deep down the field to Cortland Sutton on play action, and that's going to get them all the way down to the Raiders' 30-yard line with a little over a minute to go. They will use a timeout, and now they get themselves into position to put up some points before the end of the half. Next play, they're going down the other sideline intended for Sutton. It's incomplete, but a flag on the play. It's pass interference, and that'll make it 1st and goal from the 1, and Morris is going to find Jerry Jeudy for another touchdown here. Just over a minute to go in the first half. The Broncos going to grab a 7-point lead, make it 17-10, and that would be the score at the half. As we'll take a look at some of the stats here, the Raiders have played pretty well, but unfortunately, Denver able to come down and get a touchdown late in the half to take the lead as they go into the locker room with that 7-point advantage. Now we'll take a look around the league at some scores elsewhere, and it's the Chargers and Eagles in LA, and it's the Chargers on top by 14 there. Rough day so far for Baker Mayfield, and the 3-9 Eagles looking to maybe take down the 3-9 Chargers, but not going well so far. Then to New Orleans, and it's the 49ers all over the Saints. A surprise there as it's 4-8. Beating the tar out of an 8-4 squad on the road. So now we go to Kansas City to see what the Chiefs are able to do with the Bills, and they smoke them. So the Chiefs move to 12-1 on the year. Big day for Pat Mahomes, over 300 yards, 5 touchdowns as they win that one 42-14. Now we go back out to action here in Denver on 3rd and 11 on the first possession. It's going to be a simple draw play here, trying to catch Denver off guard, but that doesn't work, and the Raiders would have to punt. Now 3rd and 4 on the ensuing possession. Morris going downfield intended for Jeudy. Nice coverage there by Trayvon Mullen. And the Broncos would have to punt. Now 3rd and 8 on the ensuing drive. No punt this time as it's going to be Surtain picking this off. And Denver going to start with excellent field position here as they will take over 1st and 10 from the 21. Now 1st and 9, or 1st and goal from the 9, and Javonte Williams right up the middle for the touchdown. And Denver going to extend that lead and make it a 2-score advantage, now 24-10. Next possession, it's 2nd down and 9, and Surtain again with an interception. And yet again, Denver going to start with excellent field position, this time inside the red zone at the 19-yard line. Next play, Trey Stevenson to the outside. Great blocking by the Denver O-line and outside by the wide receivers, and he's going to take that in for the 19-yard touchdown jaunt. That's going to make it a 3-score advantage, and Denver would go on to win this one 34-13, as those 2 turnovers pretty much just kind of set up Denver to run away with this one, and they were able to be pretty conservative the rest of the way, running the ball and putting away the Raiders by a final of 34-13. We'll take a look at some individual stats here, as Favors was okay with the exception of those 2 interceptions, which obviously were backbreakers. He ends up 247 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Nice day for Brett Morris, 207 yards and 2 touchdowns for him. Josh Jacobs, just 58 yards on 19 carries. Nice day for Javonte Williams, 83 yards on 13 carries and a touchdown. Really good day for Stevenson with 78 yards on 10 touches and a touchdown for him as well. Marquise Brown had the touchdown catch for the Raiders, ends up with 5 catches for 61 yards. Pretty good day for Darren Waller. Jerry Jeudy just 4 catches for 48 yards, but he did have a couple of touchdowns. Hunter Renfrow limited to 3 catches on the day. Noah Fant, 3 catches for 20 yards. Henry Ruggs, 3 catches, 62 yards. Pretty good day for Sutton, 3 grabs for 69 yards. Albert O contributing with 31 yards himself, and Terrace Marshall with 21 yards receiving. As far as defense goes, it's Tremaine Edmonds with 14 tackles, by far the leader in this one, as the Denver Broncos leading tackler was James Webster with 6. There's Luke Burke also with 6, including 1 for a loss. Webster had a sack, Draymond Jones had a sack, and then Ngakoue the only sack for the Raiders, and then Patrick Surtain those 2 interceptions, which pretty much put this one out of reach. Rodrigo Blankenship hit that 56-yarder, added another field goal and an extra point. Price was 2 for 2, a couple of chip shots, and then some extra points himself. Gervasi, 2 pretty good punts on the day for him with a net of 47 yards for the average. And then Charlton with 2 punts, a net of 43.5, and one of those downed inside the 20, and the Broncos take it 34-13. All right, and we do end up with 1 post-game upgrade to Quinn Miners, our right guard, who's now turning into a pretty good interior lineman. So, as we've kind of talked about, our offensive line is going to be pretty good for a while because we still have some guys that are young to, middle ages, and just nobody kind of at the tail end of what we would consider their, tenure with this team. So we're in good shape for a while there. Now, what we've got to do here is now advance to next week. Now, the Chiefs won again, so they're 12-1, we're 11-2. We've got Week 15 action on the road, I believe, against the Chargers. And if we win, well, what we'll say is basically if that Week 16 game against the Chiefs would be one that would have us tied if we win it, we will play it, even though per our general policy we should be simming at least 3 games. We will make an exception here just because it's such a critical game in the overall season. And we've simmed a bunch this year anyway, so I don't feel too bad about it. All right, Byron Cowart, he's 28, 73 overall. He only wants a 1-year deal, and he's a decent option depth-wise at D tackle. And let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've already let 8 guys go. I think he's probably worth just bringing back for 1 more season just to kind of keep the roster nice and filled up. So we're just going to drop the signing bonus down a little bit and leave the salary where it is, make the offer, and he'll probably accept it. There we go. Malik Reed, it is time to go ahead and move on. He's 29, and he's only a 71 overall. We just don't need him anymore. Herbig will probably bring back for that 1 more season. Will Richardson will probably let go. So we're going to have to do a little bit of work in free agency this offseason because chances are we may end up trading a pick or 2 to try and slip up the board and maybe get a guy that we think could be a stud, but that we couldn't get if we were to just wait. I don't know why we're going in to look at that because we're going to stick with the defend the deep pass strategy. We're going to go with the blitz counter. Those goals for the weekly staff points don't matter anymore. I don't think we hit any of them last week, but it's not a big deal. All right. Now, I think... Oh, no, we've got a player upgrade. So that should be the only thing we'll need to do before we can sim this game against the Chargers. Malik Reed doesn't really matter. I guess we'll just make it pass coverage. There's a outside chance maybe we bring him back for 1 more season as our backup, but it's not super likely. And Drew Price, come on, give me some power. No, awareness. Oh, accuracy +4. That's not that bad. All right, now I think we're ready to sim this game against the Chargers, right? Yes. So this is a big one. If we lose, our hopes of that first round bye are pretty much over. I think we'll still play that Chiefs game anyway, just for bragging rights if we can beat them. All right, we did win, and the Chiefs won again. So now we're 1 game back, but we play them, and it's on the road, so it's not going to be an easy one. Let's actually go in here. We haven't done this for a while. And yeah, so there are some guys here that we're going to want to look at. Like this one I think was from last week, or last year. No. Would they have already played their bowl games at this point? I don't think so. So anyway, Jonathan Nails at strong safety. We don't need to look at that one. McNeil at D tackle. Nails at safety. McNeil at D tackle. John McKee at center. And Gibson at tight end. So Gibson tight end, McKee center, McNeil D tackle, Nails strong safety. Let's go take a look at those and get them highlighted while we can. Or while I remember. So it was tight end Gibson. Boom. Center McKee, and if he's that good, he's probably a stud. Projected to go in the first or second round as a center. That's freaking the real deal. This was the D tackle. Now, the only way I would draft this guy is if I thought I could use him at free safety, which we might be able to, but it's more likely that we'll end up trying to maybe grab this dude. Why are we not learning anything about this guy yet? Anyway, if I can get a strong safety and just put him at free safety or put Burke at free safety, I'd be okay with that. I don't think it would make a huge difference with their overall, so that's a possibility. In fact, Burke might be a better fit at free safety anyway. All right, so strategy against the Chiefs, defend the deep pass, blitz counter, let's get it done. Come on, guys. This is a big one. If we can get the win here, I don't know how the tiebreaker would shake out, but we got to at least do what we need to do to get ourselves in that position. So I guess I probably could have done this stuff at the beginning of next episode, but not a big deal. All right, Spencer Johnston. Let's go power rusher. He's already good enough at run stopping that he's okay. You know what? Let's emphasize the speed since he's better at it. Maybe we can start getting some more sacks out of him that way. All right, Carlos Best. We don't really care. He's probably never going to play for us. And then Bulls. Gonna go power, I guess. We need to be able to run the ball in the playoffs. And the power blocking schemes are what will probably help get us there. Alright. So the reality is next episode is going to be, we'll play that Chiefs game. We will probably, assuming we win, which obviously we hope to. If we lose, those last few games won't matter anyway, and we'll probably just simulate them just to get the season over with and start the next episode in the playoffs. So next episode, we'll do these last 3 games and then cover the regular season recap. So that'll be enough for a full episode. So the last thing we're going to do in this episode is look at the stats from this previous game and see how we did. So 35-14, we outran them, outthrew them. No turnovers for either side. So pretty clean game, but our defense must have been pretty sharp. Brett Morris, 3 more touchdowns, no interceptions. He might win the MVP this year. He got sacked twice. Herbert, 250, a touchdown, sacked 5 times. Javonte Williams, a pretty solid day. We bottled up Eckler big time. Stevenson didn't do that much. Jerry Jeudy, a nice day. Fuller was solid. Good day for Marshall and Fant. Parkinson was all right. Freeman, 51 yards and a touchdown. Sutton was okay, 38 yards on 4 catches, and he had a touchdown. And then not a whole lot else. So we didn't spread it out as much in this one, but that's okay. Defense. Murray had 9 tackles. Our leading tackler was Webster and Willis, 6 apiece. Both in the secondary. Not necessarily ideal, but that's okay. Sacks, 2 for Chubb, 1.5 for Mack, 1 for Bosa, Draymond Jones, another one, Pritchett, and then Sammy Webster had a half a sack coming off the edge. There were no interceptions, so we don't need to look at that. No field goal attempts for either side. And then they punted 6 times, and it was not very pretty. Gervasi punted 3 times. Net average of 57.7 yards, 2 of them inside the 20. That's a nice day for the punter. All right, I think that'll do it for this episode. So if you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment below, and we will see y'all next time.
Good evening, friends and neighbors. Or shall I say this afternoon?